You've probably scrolled past their names 1,000 times, maybe even followed both of them, and never once realized they shared the same bloodline. Hollywood has a way of keeping certain family connections incredibly quiet, and today we're pulling back the curtain on three sibling pairs that will genuinely make you question everything you thought you knew about your favorite stars. We're not talking about the obvious ones, like the Hemsworths or the Fannings. These are the connections that flew completely under the radar, the ones where the siblings took totally different career paths, changed their names, or simply never shared the spotlight at the same time. By the end of this, you'll have three pieces of insider knowledge that'll make you look like the most connected person in your group chat. We're covering why these relationships stayed hidden, what the actual family dynamics look like behind closed doors, and what it reveals about how fame really works when siblings choose completely different lanes. Let's start with the connection that sounds like absolute fiction until you see the receipts. Actress Emily Deschanel, who spent 12 seasons playing Dr. Temperance Brennan on Bones, is the older sister of Zooey Deschanel. Yes, the quirky new girl star with the bangs and the indie music career. On paper, it seems obvious once you hear it, but here's why nobody puts it together. They look nothing alike in terms of styling and energy. Emily built her career in procedural drama with a serious forensic scientist vibe. Zooey leaned into the manic pixie dream girl aesthetic and became the face of indie rom-coms in the band She and Him. Their career trajectories never overlapped in a way that forced the connection into public consciousness. According to a 2012 interview Emily gave to More magazine, their parents, cinematographer Caleb Deschanel and actress Mary Jo Deschanel, raised them in the industry but encouraged them to find their own identities. The sisters were homeschooled together and grew up on film sets, but they deliberately avoided being packaged as a sister act. Emily is 4 years older and had already established herself in television by the time Zooey broke out with Almost Famous in 2000 and Elf in 2003. The name recognition happened at different times in different genres to different audiences. What really kept this under wraps is that they never publicly leveraged each other's fame. No joint magazine covers during their peaks, no family reality show, no co-starring roles until a brief guest spot Zooey did on Bones in 2019, nearly 2 decades into both their careers. The money motive here is fascinating. Both carved out multi-million-dollar careers without riding each other's coattails, which actually protected their individual brand equity. If you're Zooey and you're selling quirky indie girl next door, attaching yourself to a primetime crime procedural star might dilute that. If you're Emily and you're the lead of a science-driven network drama, the whimsical singer-actress-sister angle doesn't help your credibility with that audience. Entertainment business analyst Matthew Belloni noted in a 2015 piece for The Hollywood Reporter that sibling pairs often benefit more from separation than association when their brands target different demographics. The Deschanels are a textbook case. They supported each other privately, but kept their public personas completely distinct, and it paid off for both. Now, let's jump to the most shocking one, the reveal that consistently breaks people's brains when they find out. Actress Rooney Mara, the Oscar-nominated star of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo and Carol, is the younger sister of Kate Mara, who you know from House of Cards, Fantastic Four, and A Teacher. But wait, it gets deeper. Their family tree is legitimately insane. Rooney's full name is Patricia Rooney Mara. Kate's full name is Kate Rooney Mara. The Rooney part comes from their mother's side. Their great-grandfather was Art Rooney, the founder of the Pittsburgh Steelers. On their father's side, their great-grandfather was Tim Mara, the founder of the New York Giants. So these two actresses are literally NFL royalty on both sides. According to a 2016 Esquire profile on the Mara family, their combined family net worth is estimated in the billions. This is not your typical Hollywood Nepo baby situation. This is generational sports franchise wealth that makes most celebrity money look like pocket change. So why didn't anyone know they were sisters for years? First, they both actively downplayed the family connection early in their careers. Per a 2011 Vogue interview, Rooney said she worried people would dismiss her talent if they knew about the football dynasty background. She used her middle name as her stage name to create separation. Kate, who was 4 years older and started acting first, did the same thing for similar reasons. Second, they look quite different and occupy different spaces in Hollywood. Kate started in TV and bigger studio projects. Rooney gravitated toward indie films and intense character roles. Their career peaks didn't sync up. Kate was buzzing from House of Cards around 2013. Rooney blew up with Dragon Tattoo in 2011 and Carol in 2015. Different award circuits, different press tours, different social circles in the industry. According to a 2013 piece in the New York Times, both sisters admitted they'd actively avoided working together or being photographed together early on because they wanted to be judged as individuals. The financial angle here is wild. They didn't need Hollywood money to survive, which actually gave them more creative freedom. Rooney famously took a massive pay cut to do Carol because she believed in the project. That's a luxury most actors don't have. The PR strategy was clearly to establish themselves as serious actors first, then let the family stuff trickle out later once they'd proven their talent. It worked. By the time people connected the dots, both had Oscar nominations and critical respect. Let's close with one that absolutely nobody sees coming. Ralph Fiennes, the British acting legend who played Voldemort in Harry Potter and has been nominated for 2 Academy Awards, is the older brother of Joseph Fiennes, who starred as William Shakespeare in Shakespeare in Love and played Monsignor Timothy Howard in American Horror Story Asylum. Yes, Voldemort and Shakespeare are brothers. Let that sit for a second. According to a 1999 profile in The Guardian, the Fiennes family is massive. Ralph is the oldest of 6 siblings, and Joseph is the third. They grew up in a creative but financially unstable household. Their mother was a novelist, their father was a farmer and photographer, and they moved around constantly during childhood. Both brothers attended the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in London, but at different times. Ralph graduated in 1985 and built his career through Shakespeare on stage before transitioning to film with Schindler's List in 1993 and The English Patient in 1996. Joseph came up later, graduating from the Guildhall School of Music and Drama and breaking out with Shakespeare in Love in 1998. The career paths were similar but staggered by about a decade, and they worked in different markets for a long time. Ralph became a Hollywood leading man and prestige drama fixture. Joseph stayed closer to British television and theater with occasional Hollywood roles. The name pronunciation adds to the confusion. It's pronounced Rafe Fiennes and Joseph Fiennes, but most Americans mispronounce Ralph as Ralph, which makes the connection even less obvious. Per a 2005 interview Joseph gave to The Telegraph, people constantly asked if they were related after Shakespeare in Love came out, but by then, Ralph was already such an established name that Joseph dealt with the comparison anxiety most younger siblings in the same field face. He actively avoided discussing Ralph in interviews early on because he didn't want to be seen as riding his coattails. The PR motive here is about legacy protection. Ralph built a reputation as one of the finest actors of his generation. Joseph built his own solid career, but never quite reached the same iconic status. Keeping some distance in the public eye allowed Joseph to avoid being labeled as Ralph's brother in every review and profile. Entertainment journalist Ann Thompson noted in a 2012 column that sibling actors often perform a delicate dance between leveraging family name recognition and being consumed by it. The Fiennes brothers managed it by working in slightly different lanes and rarely doing press together. The money trail is also revealing. Ralph's career earnings from franchises like Harry Potter set him up as one of the wealthiest British actors. Joseph's earnings from TV and smaller films are respectable, but not in the same league. That financial gap meant there was no incentive to package them as a brand. They both got to be serious actors on their own terms without the gimmick. So what does all this tell us about how Hollywood really works when it comes to sibling fame? The Deschanels, the Maras, and the Fiennes brothers all followed the same unspoken playbook. Separate your brands early, target different audiences or genres, avoid joint publicity until you're both established, and let the connection come out slowly through fan discovery rather than press releases. It's a long game that protects both siblings from comparison fatigue and gives each of them room to fail or succeed on their own merits. The expectation when you clicked this video was probably that these were going to be random distant cousins or half-siblings nobody cares about. The reality is that these are some of the most successful people in entertainment who deliberately hid in plain sight because the industry rewards individual mythology more than family legacy in most cases. The DNA is shared, but the brands are kept distinct. And that is the actual strategy. If you want to understand how the rest of Hollywood's secret family trees work and which other A-listers are hiding major connections, you need to dive into our Fresh Celebrity Tea playlist. We've mapped out the webs of managers, agents, secret partnerships, and family ties that explain who really gets the roles, the deals, and the coverage. It's not luck, it's networks. And now you know exactly how three of the biggest names in the game played it.